Have you ever seen Good Dick? Would you want to watch Good Dick? Well, don't know really how to go forward from this other than the Dad Pan, the writer, streamer, content creator, master of none. This is another episode of the Critics Collective, and I will explain to you what my rating is of Good Dick. Good Dick is a movie that came out in 2008. It's rated R for obvious reasons. For legal reasons, we'll just say it's the nickname for Richard. This is an hour and 26 minutes, and we'll talk about this. Now it says a look at the relationship between a lonely and introverted woman and a young man at a video store trying to get her attention. That sums it up well. Now, before we get into it, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, comment for more. Now, here on the Critics Collective, we do everything from gaming and wrestling and new movies and streaming and sports and everything in between. But we do tend to hit, some steamier conversational pieces. And if there's a movie or something, respectfully, that's a movie, it's got to at least be kind of a movie, put it in the comments and I'll go ahead and check it out, or maybe somebody on the crew will check it out. Now, if you were looking for something, or maybe you haven't found Good Dick, then respectfully in the links, you'll find some things that may or may not help you answer that question of when's the last time. Anyways, so for this movie, I'm just going to go ahead and let you know what the rating is. We rate from a 0 to a 5, with 5 being honestly excellent. It's standing ovation, if you know what I mean. And then you have 0, which is horrible. It's don't ever call me again, 1 minute man. Or maybe you're on top and you're lazy. I don't know. You're just laying there in bed, respectfully. But the rating for this one, I'm going to rate this one actually a 4. I'm gonna rate this one a 4. This one was a sleeper, no pun intended. This is like one of those where you give someone a chance for whatever the reason, maybe a good perfume, good conversation at dinner. She bats her eyes a certain way, and one thing leads to the next. And before you know it, you're waking up in the morning. You say, "Hey, I dove in, and I'm about to dive in again." So, without spoiling anything, basically, the lead is a woman who has had a troubled past, and it has caused her to be basically claustrophobic to herself, but she still wants love, wants connection. And so you have this man who shows up or, interacts with her, and he works at like a video store, and even though this was done 2008, it looks like it could have been the late 80s. It honestly looks like it could have fit in the late 90s, 2000s early, and it would have been perfect. The cast on this was so good as far as like Jason Ritter is on here. Mark Webber is on here. You have Jesse Garcia, Elizabeth Watterson. Catherine Watterson. Tom Arnold is in this. Seth Gable, Bryce Dallas Howard. You have to say her name. Long red hair, don't care. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, it had a really good cast. I couldn't believe I'm forgetting somebody on this. Martin Starr, if I didn't say that, played Simon, was a really good actor on this one. So the thing that makes this interesting is it's called Man and Woman, or at least the two characters. They don't really focus on the name of the characters, but John Ritter's character wants to have a relationship, like to court, to date the lead, and she has all these boundaries, and he's willing to go through all of them. From you can come over my house and you can stay the night, but you can't go in the room. The door is locked. And he has to show that he's a good guy, good dick. He has to show that he's a good guy because she's had bad dick. That's what they're talking about. And they don't mean it in the sexual sense. So I will tell you that if you're watching this movie for some smutty, steamy, turn love novel page type stuff, you're not going to get it. There are a few moments, but it's not designed that way. It reminds me of Nymphomaniac 1 and 2, volume 1 and 2, respectfully, where you click the link or you're thinking you're getting it because of the description, but there is a deeper story where sex is not even the thought process. And I thought it was beautifully done. I've said before, maybe it's just me, And it makes me sound foolish every time I say it, but there is something about when a woman writes and directs a piece that has to do with feelings that you feel. And I go and I check, and the same woman who's the star, the same woman who wrote it, is the same woman who's the director. Bravo for her. Her name is Marina Palka. Respectfully, beautiful job on this movie to do all three parts. There was only one scene that I thought between her and Tom Arnold where it was the acting was off just a little bit, almost like she had to kind of get into the the mind frame she wanted to be in for certain words going back and forth. Other than that, I thought it was so good. I was so surprised by this movie. There's another one called Love, comma Danielle, came out 2024. I am curious to check that out. If I'm able to check that out, I will. But you're able to watch this on Tubi. You can watch this on Pluto TV. Like I said before, I think it's a really, really interesting way to do a romance movie that will have you probably having a conversation throughout the movie and towards the end. I thought the ending was a really good ending, and I'm not going to spoil anything from it, but that's how I rated it. I rated it a 4. I thought it was a really good movie. I was very surprised about this movie. If you're looking for a romantic movie that does something different, that will make you feel uncomfortable, but on the end, I believe takes you to what romance or what love or what taking a chance on somebody will do. So you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time, Daddy loves you. I know it sounds creepy now because we talked about the movie and I was asking you those questions at the top of the show, but I mean,